It's May, and we're at Silverstone in England for a non-championship Formula One race, the BRDC International Trophy. This is part 20 of my 1966 series where I take on the role of Richie our intrepid racing driver, as I race through a full season of different events, trying to become the Formula One world champion. The BRDC was a long-standing race run to Formula One specifications that could trace its roots back to the 1930s. By 1966, the race was in its 18th running, and with its early season date, it became a popular event for testing brand new Grand Prix cars before the Formula One season got underway. And as we talked about back in Syracuse, 1966 was perhaps the most important year for teams to test changes. With the growth in engine size from 1.5 to 3 liter, every team had to develop brand new engines to go and race. The season also saw a short list of non-championship events, with races like the Race of Champions being cancelled. It made the BRDC that much more important. And being just 1 week before the Monaco Grand Prix, it really was the final testing session before things really got going. So as you can imagine, most of the teams made an effort to appear at this small event. Perhaps the most impressive was the Cooper Car Company, fielding 6 cars, including the non-works teams, all of them fitted with a V12 Maserati, an engine that could trace its roots back to the 1950s in Juan Manuel Fangio racing the Maserati 250F. It had been bored out from a 2.5 liter to be a full 3 liter capacity, one of the few full capacity engines that would make it to the grid to start the season for 66. Ferrari showed up with 2 cars this time for Bandini and Surtees, both with the V12 3-liter engine that Surtees drove so well to victory at Syracuse in real life. Coming into the event, they were the obvious favorite, but Jack Brabham showed up with his Repco V8 3-liter engine and shocked all in attendance by putting it on the pole during qualifying. The question going into the race was, would Jack Brabham's Repco V8 hold together for the full distance, or would the Ferrari come out on top? But at the green flag, it was settled. Jack Brabham zooming off into the lead and leading Surtees for all 35 laps around Silverstone to take the victory by just 7 seconds. In somewhat of a surprise, Joe Bonnier was able to come away in 3rd position, driving his brightly painted white and red Swiss-themed Cooper Maserati. And so it's clear the theme for 1966 will be all about power, and whatever team is able to deliver the best engine will likely come out on top. Although Brabham was a great team to fall back to after being let go from Ferrari towards the end of 1965, Richie's always had to race somewhat of the B-spec car, with Jack Brabham and Denny Hulme getting priority for the newest and best machinery. But after an impressive run in New Zealand and Australia to take the Tasman Championship, Richie got the call from Dan Gurney to come to the United States and race some stock cars at Riverside, California. After showing he was no slouch there, Gurney was able to parlay a ride for Richie in the GT40 with the Hallman and Moody team for the Daytona 24, and well, the rest was history. So Gurney's brought Richie into his inner circle for his brand new Formula One effort, the Anglo-American Racers. They've been hard at work testing and building their first car, which will be appropriately called the Eagle, and Gurney's working hard to have 2 chassis ready for Monaco for both Richie and himself to drive. So Axelson's amicably parted ways with Jack Brabham in favor for Dan Gurney's Eagle team, but there's no Eagle chassis available just yet to race in an event like this. However, we do have one of Gurney's Climax 2.7-liter engines that he plans on fitting in the Eagle once the chassis is done. So we've gone and tracked down a spare older BT11 chassis from DW Racing Enterprises, who's fielding Bob Anderson, and we're going to fit Gurney's Climax engine that we plan to race in Monaco to the back of it. So we have a makeshift vehicle to take part in this BRDC trophy. I think still good experience to test out the engine, make sure we know what the power is, and ultimately when we fit it to the Eagle chassis, hopefully everything comes together and pays off. So we'll take a look at the starting grid for this preliminary event, and Joe Siffert and Joe Bonnier, both in privately entered Coopers, have taken the front row the first 2 spots away, with a 131.8 for Joe Siffert and a 133.1 for Joe Bonnier. John Surtees in his Ferrari and Jack Brabham are right behind him in 3rd and 4th, and the way the starting grid works at Silverstone, they're actually on the front row as well, just on the outside, so it may pay off for them, maybe a better starting position, a little more on the clean line to get off the grid. And if you look further down the grid behind Jochen Rindt and Richie Ginther, my teammate for sports car racing, I found myself in 8th position after qualifying. Not such a good lap, 134.9. I know I can go a bit quicker than that, but coming to terms with a different chassis and engine than I've raced in previous events. So although I'm starting back in 8th, I'm actually on the 2nd row of the grid. So a good start could change how everything looks in just the first couple of corners. Of course, the Silverstone circuit is an absolute classic, and this is in its most original form with no chicanes, just simple straights and corners that circle the runways here. After coming from the crazy technical event that was the Targa Florio, it's a nice change of pace to race on a circuit that has a little bit more of a flow to it, something that's a little more simplistic and can concentrate on racing others rather than just simply controlling the car. Racing others will be important. This is a really short race. It was only 35 laps in real life, part of a triple header, I think, with some saloon car and sports car races earlier in the day. So with our 30% distance that we've been running all season, that'll be just 11 laps around Silverstone, which will go by in the blink of an eye. So although it's a short grid and a short number of laps, I'm excited to see what Richie can do here and what really is the final step before the Formula One season begins. So let's get started with it, the 1966 BRDC International Trophy. Alright, so here we are on the grid. We're actually in the third row, but the inside, so it should be a pretty good start. Flag is up. Down, we're underway. We'll get a nice lunge off the line, but there's not going to be anywhere to go here on the inside as they all roll away so slowly. Alright, slotting behind Rin here as we'll funnel down towards Copse. John Taylor there on the outside, who's going to drop in front. On the inside, I think of Richie Ginther there. Alright, try to get a nice run out. We'll come up towards Maggots. Taylor's going to slot in front, just fall into line here. No heroics on the opening lap, up to fourth gear. And then to Beckett's now, down to second gear. Long right-hander, double right-hander really. Try to get back on the throttle, set us up. One little fast flick, and then onto the hanger straight. Oh, they all get choked up in front, almost colliding with Taylor there. Alright, get up to fourth gear, he falls behind. Let's pick up a freebie there, but kind of on chance. Get down to third, down to second. The end of the straightaway, flick it in. Car breaks away a bit on the accelerator. Work down towards club now. Second gear. A little tentative on this opening lap. Tires are really cold. The car's all over the place from behind. Even slightly less powered than the cars around me, but still hard to control. Right down to third gear. Slide it through Abbey. Right out to the grass. Back up to fourth. One corner left, Woodcote. Nice camber on it here. Down to third. Ride the apex through, come across line, complete the first lap. So a bit dramatic there. A couple close calls, but back down to second gear, coming into Copse again. Wall on the inside, you have to be super careful. Taylor's right back on me. I slide out wide into the grass just a little bit. We got Rint right in front of me. Taylor behind wants his spot back. A nice run here, all about the slipstream on the straightaways. Cars around me all have a little bit more power at the Maserati V12. Keep it in fourth gear here. I don't know if we could gain on him at all. Back down to second. And that mirror on the right side as Taylor's in and out of it. Just don't want to outbrake yourself into any of these corners either as I run wide there, back on the throttle. I think I've got an advantage through the corners. There's just not enough of them here at Silverstone. Look at the cars spread out in front, side by side up there. Maybe saw the Ferrari running wide. Surtees maybe with problems. Rint held up. Bump the inside into Woodcote. He's going to just drive it in hard on the outside. Come across the line and take a look at the pit board here. So P6, 9 laps to go. So that would be just enough for points if this was a points race. Still a couple big teams missing. But encouraging early going. All right, pulling up on Rint. Into Maggots here. There's a little curbing on the inside of some of these corners. You gotta watch out. You really can't cut any of the corners here. I think exactly how it's designed. Taylor behind. Just try to get a late apex there onto hanger straight up to 4th gear. Should hit 5th this time. Don't want to rev it too hard. Oh, Taylor sweeping behind, really close to me there. Get a nice run coming out on Rint. Wheel to wheel. Down to 2nd gear here. Rush back out of it a little too much. Try to set him up. Coming out of Abbey here. He was quite slow last time, but maybe got held up from the cars in front. Really running the car all the way to the rev limiter. It's a short race here today, but a long race in Monaco. Almost losing the car there as it touched the apron, like oval racing almost. Down to 2nd. Tentative on the turn in. Have a nice run out here, but as we come to Maggots, it's not really a place where you want to take a lunge. Group in front all packed up though. Undoubtedly, the slipstream here makes a big difference. As long as you're close enough, you can get it. Keeps the pack nice and tight for a good long while. Lost a little bit on Rint this time. Understeered there in the middle of the corner and to get on the throttle. A little harder, help rotate the car around. Also play with the differentials after the race. We have Bonnier and Sifford up there battling with each other. It's really a string of Maseratis, Cooper Maseratis in front. Then out front, I think it's Brabham and Surtees like I predicted. Right up to the edge there. Come through the final corner here. Not quite as on the apron that time. Nice line. 7 laps to go. Still P6. It's going to fade down to the inside. A lot of oversteer there, but trying to get on the throttle. Should have an opportunity on Rin here, side by side. Definitely have the edge on him coming into Maggots. There we go. Fade past him on the inside. Nowhere for him to go. Backs out of it. Block the inside into Beckett's. A nice run out. He's going to be all over me here down hanger straight. Slipstream plus the Maserati. The inside, try to block something. I don't know. Down to 2nd gear. Oh, I'm going to run it a bit wide. Carry the speed though. He's side by side with me. Pulling ahead just a little bit. Down to 2nd gear, trying to keep him pinned. Oh, I get touched. Try to get away from it. I think he actually got away with that too. I saw him sliding off into the grass. Hopefully the suspension's all right. Through Abbey, quite shaken up there. Wasn't expecting that. Was trying to pin him just a little close to the inside. Another Maserati coming up behind. Might be Ginther though. So coming to the final corner. Just trying to get a little bit of a gap here. I think we made contact just perfectly on the wheels to spin each other out, but not really take us out of it. I don't feel like I have any damage. Scary stuff though. He went sliding off the track too. Alright, pulled out a little bit On Ginther behind. I think he's got Rint right behind him now, who likely will not be happy. Try to get back around Taylor here. That's put us way behind the group in front. All started with my mistake too. You can see my skid marks there on the inside. Trying to brake extra late. Less dramatic this time through there. A little bit wide, but pulling up nicely. Now on Taylor. Tempting to throw it up the inside there, but there's a curb right on the inside that'll throw you wide. That's the trickiest one on the track, I think. All right, nice run on him down to Woodcote. Try to get a good run through here, get him on the front straight away. Not gonna be able to do it. He's got a nice run there too. Down a second gear. Up on him towards Maggots where I got Rint the first time. Slide it into Beckett's. Use some of the slip to slow the car down. You can see the two Coopers behind me fighting, so it's good for me. Alright, nice run on him. Onto hanger straight. Gonna take the outside. Try to pass on the inside. He's gonna pin me down low. I'm going to run too deep again. Let's slide up, take the line away. Oh, Taylor, a little bit easier to pass there than Rint. All right, but able to get around him. Try to build a gap again. Got the group still in front. They're not totally out of sight or anything either. They're all battling with each other side by side. Down to Abby here. A little too much drama for a short preseason race, but you put a bunch of Grand Prix drivers together on a circuit, you're going to see some racing, I think. Come to the line, 4 laps to go only. Should be up to P5 actually now, with Taylor behind me. Down the second gear, broke a little bit early there. Taylor closed back up. Slide it through cops. Into Beckett's. Oh, I got the lines all wrong. The car might be a little damaged. Just feels a little off. It could be my driving too after the contact. Just kind of throws you off your rhythm. Seems like it's very easy to brake sideways. It could just be a toe slightly out. I mean, it's not really broken, it just slid a setting or something. Just always glancing in the mirror for a car trying to take a lunge at you. Bit deep there. Recover though. Oh, looks like one of the Coopers got around. So I got a Cooper right behind me again. A little bit of a gap, but that could not last long depending. Depends on who it is too. With Taylor falling back then. Good run from him though. Come to the line. Yeah, it should be 5th place. Yep, 3 laps to go. 5 seconds off of Bonnier last time through. I don't think I would have gained too much in the last lap. Pretty scrappy performance here, but new car. And some really aggressive opponents. Keeping the 4th gear here through Maggots. Just a lift of the throttle, get the car to settle. And down a second for Beckett's. Quite shallow on the entry there, but try to throttle up on the exit. Keep it in 3rd here through this kink. And throttle nice and early, slide it onto hanger straight. Be a great place to watch the cars. All the way down to second at the end of Hangar Straight. Hear the engines behind me. They might be gaining just a little bit. You have to outrun them for a few more. We don't have to race here at all for Formula One this season. The Grand Prix will be at Brands Hatch, so it's just kind of a one and done, at least in Formula One cars for Silverstone for 66, but still great practice. Not exactly how I want a race to go for the championship. Need to drive very clean. Races will be longer, some attrition involved, so just making it to the end is always good. A few incidents like that in my rookie season, 65, so don't want to earn a reputation. Certainly today won't be helping. I come down to Beckett's, down to second gear. Maserati behind me is closing in the Cooper, but about 1.5 laps to go. Oh, I got to slide out wide onto Hangar Straight. I took it too fast. You can see him closing in now. Went down to second. Right on me. That was a big mistake too. Too many mistakes here. See the group in front fighting. If I had just been consistent enough, probably been right there with them. Haven't been off the pace as much as I thought I would be today, but the consistency is just not there. Wind it through. Pulled back out though. Didn't gain quite as much as I thought they would. Running off the circuit, right, coming to the final corner, down to third gear. Take a look at that pit board. 1 lap to go, P5 still. Bonnier in front. Held the gap just about the same. Try to do one more lap here. No running off the circuit this time. Into Cops, down to second. To fourth gear. I tried to keep it in fourth, turning onto Hangar Straight last time through. It's just not gonna work. Oh, just touch that curb on the inside. Don't want to do that. Actually break your suspension doing that. Right, keep it in third this time. Maybe a little easier than most laps, but get onto the straightaway just fine. And a nice gap behind, very large gap in front. Just need to bring it home now. Down to second gear. Maserati's behind me, just keeping me honest. Sure, if Rint could get to me, he wouldn't have too many nice things to say. Alright, we'll throttle up though, so pretty scrappy race. It is a preseason event. At least we're making it to the end. Come through the final corner. What would be a points finish? 5th position, I think. We'll take a look at the results in a second. So coming away with the win just as he did in real life, Jack Brabham ekes out just 0.6 of a second over John Surtees. I saw them battling up there. It's really a pack of 4 cars with Joe Sifford in third and Joe Bonnier in fourth. Bonnier just 1 place away from his actual finish as well. But those 4 seemed to be dueling the whole time. And I think I could have got up to him actually. I think I was similar speeds around here with the slipstream and everything, but I just did not drive as well as I think I could have hoped for. Richie Ginther is able to finish right behind me, and it was his teammate Jochen Rindt who I made contact with, finishing back in 8th position. So he's going to be the one that's upset from this race, and pretty gnarly accidents. Lucky it didn't go much worse than that. And luckily both of us were able to continue. I think the suspension tap was light enough It was definitely my mistake leading up to the accident to run wide and set ourselves up for doing that side-by-side there. Definitely need to avoid stuff like that when we get into the real season, because any loss of points at any event is just going to hurt so bad. So short but sweet, and I've learned a little bit. I've learned the Climax 2.7 liter can keep up with the faster cars, especially in twisty stuff, and for Monaco, I think that'll turn out just fine. Hopefully the pairing with the Eagle chassis, if they're ready in time, will be a good one, and it'll help the car overall perform better than this BT11. So it's just 1 week to go until the Formula One season kicks off in Monaco for the first official Grand Prix, and I'm excited to race with the Eagle team for the season. I think it's going to be an interesting 1966 series with all of the teams trying their best to get the best car to the grid for each event. With a first-year team, it's going to be quite risky to see how the car performs week to week, but hopefully can have enough good performances that it all pays off come the end. And it is a short series this year with only 9 official points-paying races, and like most of the seasons in the 1960s, we do also have drop races, so it's only going to be the 5 best finishes from every driver throughout the season that count. No splitting the season up or anything like that, just the best 5 throughout the season. So we have a little bit of time to get the car to work, but I really hope Monaco goes well with the car, can start the season off well, and not have to use all of our drop races right up front. So a lot to think about, a lot of adjustments to make, but the 1966 Formula One season is here, and I couldn't be more excited. So until Monaco, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again next time.